Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our People Showcase. We are the People team here at GM Business Growth Hub. And here at the Hub, we've been helping and supporting businesses since 2011.
And as a result of that, have helped many organisations, irrespective of size and reach, to grow and thrive by putting their people at the forefront of their thinking. So, without further ado, I'm going to pass you around to some of the team, initially to introduce themselves very briefly, and then I'm going to ask them to go into a little bit more detail about what they do in support of those organisations that come to the Growth Hub for our services. So I'm going to start with my friend and colleague, Paul Vicario.
Morning, everyone. Paul Vicario. I am Social Value Specialist at the Growth Hub.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Paula Watbrook, and I am a Workforce Development Specialist delivering the Workforce Development Programme.
Good morning, everyone. I'm part of the Leadership Specialist team, so I'm going to chat to you a little bit about the leadership offering that both Paul and I deliver to businesses.
And can I now introduce Emma?
Hi, good morning. My name's Emma. I'm the Wellbeing Specialist here.
And last but by no means least, Andrea.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Andrea for the Mentoring Program.
So let's get started with our first showcase on that people journey, which is our social impact program. And back over to you, Paul, to explain what you do and how you do it.
Cheers, Paul. Yeah, so social impact program is made up of 3 team members, myself, Nadir, who is also social value specialist like myself, and Stuart, who is a VCSE specialist, and that stands for Voluntary Community and Social Enterprise. So on the next slide, I thought I'd kick us off. You might have seen or been asked these kind of questions before, and it can be a little bit of a minefield in social value. There's a lot of terminology that gets used. So have you ever been asked these kinds of questions and not felt confident enough with responding? It's just some food for thought, really. So I'll just leave it on that page for just a couple more seconds. And then if we go to the next slide, kind of give you a bit of an overview as to how we can help maybe demystify the world of social value and support social enterprises. So the Social Impact Programme, we support people to understand social value as a topic, from its legislation, how it's moved through government, and we do that through one-to-one support and through workshops. And the sort of stuff that we help with is we can support you to create a social value policy or a statement. We can help you understand how your business can measure and report social value, and we can create partnerships for you. We can help you network with the local community. And then in terms of helping social enterprises, my colleague Stuart supports people with helping develop business plans, helping them identify income and increasing trading income. And if we move on to the next page, here's a little very quick case study of some support that we've provided to Henshaw's Society for the Blind. They are a sight loss charity, and they came to us because they wanted to understand social value so that when they were interacting with corporate organisations, they could kind of speak their language. You know, the work that Henshaw's do has a profound impact on society. So partnering with private organisations will help private organisations achieve any social value obligations that they might have, or if the organisation is just looking to become a more socially responsible business, then Henshaw's wanted to be able to speak corporate language. So, and you can just see a little brief quote there at the bottom about the support that we've provided. So on the next page, just in summary, we can support you to understand the topic of social value, help you develop processes and policy around becoming a responsible business. can support social enterprises, and we can offer that support through one-to-one and through our core workshops as well, which are advertised on those. That's it from me. I'll be leaving the call shortly, so if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. We'll try and get to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. That's wonderful and really interesting work that takes place over on the social impact team. And without further ado, as we continue on our round robin, I'd like to reintroduce you to Paula Wadbrook, our Workforce Development Specialist.
Thanks, Paul, and hello everyone. Yeah, as I said, my name is Paula Wadbrook. I'm part of the team delivering the Workforce Development Programme, and I am the Workforce Development Specialist for Trafford. Our Workforce Development Programme helps you ignite the power of your biggest asset. That's your people. People are at the heart of any business, regardless of technological advancements, global competition. It's our people who drive our innovation, nurture our customer relationships, and uphold the values of our companies. I thought I'd put in a few very recent statistics to illustrate this. According to a recently LinkedIn survey, 94% of employees say they would stay in a company longer if it invested in their career development. And this statistic really highlights that investing in our workforce is essential for attracting and retaining top talent. Prioritising workforce development can see additional returns. The World Economic Forum's 2023 report found organisations with training programmes experienced a 24% higher profit margin compared to those without. And focusing on employee engagement strategies can have impact too. In Gallup's 2023 report, this highlighted that highly engaged teams showed 21% greater profitability. So let's have a look how we can support you through our workforce development programme to get you the best out of your people. What can we help you with? Well, really anything to do with people. The list is not exhausted. We put some things here on the slide for you. We like to look at this through what we call the workforce development life cycle, supporting you with any or all aspects of your employee journey with you, from hire to inspire to retire. So that might mean maximising potential of your workforce by aligning your people strategy with your business goals, supporting you to attract, grow and retain the talent you need for your business now and for in the future, helping you with staff engagement strategies leading to great culture and high-performing, motivated and happy teams. And we can help you identify skills gaps across your workforce and training solutions so your staff can meet the needs of your business, are on board for your future ambitions. And how can we do this? Well, we've got a dedicated workforce development specialist in each local authority area who can work directly with you. They've got great knowledge of the area, great connections, and work very closely with the council. They can support you one-to-one with advice and support, as well as a wealth of resources and connecting you in with any external people that you might need to be, like HR specialists and training providers. In addition, we have our workforce development workshops. And these are just 2 hours long, highly interactive with lots of practical takeaways. Our next ones are just after the summer in September and October, with the dates there on the screen. We have a staff engagement, people performance management, management essentials, recruitment and onboarding, and managing your workforce through change. When you get the slide deck, you can just click through to find out more and book on. And this is for leaders, managers and future managers in the business. Our next slide just shows you some of the feedback that we've got from our workshops. Just to read a couple out, the tools we've looked at, the session could be instantly applied in a professional setting, very informative and a safe place to talk honestly about issues or ask questions. Another resource we have for you is our GM Skills Map. This is a fantastic online resource with over 1,700 training courses and 450 apprenticeships detailed, many of them fully or part funded. It's a completely simple tool, and you and your staff can jump on there, search for training solutions, and it'll bring all of the details up to you. It's completely free to use, and there's a link there. Of course, you can work with your dedicated workforce development specialist to ensure that you identify and select the most effective training for your business needs. And to conclude, next slide, please. On many occasions with the business leaders and owners that I've worked with over the years, they might often say, but if I train my staff, they'll just leave. And it always brings to mind the Henry Ford quote, the only thing worse than training your employees and having them leave is not training them and having them stay. And lastly, one of my favourite quotes from arguably a very successful businessman, train your people well enough so they can leave, but treat them well enough so they don't want to. Thank you.
Fabulous. What a great provision that is for organisations to tap into, and wonderfully presented by Paula. So thank you for that. And without further ado, I will pass you over to my colleague and fellow leadership specialist, Joe Lord, to talk about that leadership provision. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Paul, and thanks, Paula. Wow, that's amazing. Well, we work very closely with the workforce development specialists, but I think arguably we have the best role, because our role, Paul and myself, our role is to inspire great leadership across Greater Manchester. So how lucky are we? Now, we do this in a variety of ways. We do a lot of leadership conferences, forums, lots of different events. But the thing that I really wanted to focus on and talk to you about today is to concentrate on our pure leadership workshops. So this is a series of 4 fully funded workshops. We work with organisations of all sizes right across Greater Manchester. And each workshop is built on our pure leadership pillars. Next slide, please. So when we're talking about leadership, we are talking about it in its purest sense, where workforce development might be working with managers around some of the management development needs. What we're really looking is to develop you as leaders, to inspire you to be the best leader that you can be. So we start with leading self. So our first workshop, this is our first pillar, is about being really self-aware as a leader. This is getting clearer on the impact your actions and behaviours have as a leader on yourself and on those around you. And what you can build on then is become the most authentic leader that you really want to be. And this is a really great starting point for your leadership development journey. Moving on from that, we're looking at leading organisations. So within here, this is all about you inspiring a great vision for your organisation and helping others to buy into that vision. How do you develop the culture for the organisation that you want to be? As Paul has already said, your people are your most important asset. But what we're focusing on in our next workshop here in Leading People is very much around how do you develop and adapt yourself as a leader to get the very, very best out of the people that you're leading. And in addition to that, how do you create really high performing teams as a leader so that you can achieve everything that you want to? Finally, we've got leading innovation. Now, the leading innovation is leading change, innovation. It's really about leading for growth. So what kind of culture and environment do you need to create where individuals can contribute their whole selves, but where they're also really keen to grow and develop both personally and within the organisation? Of course, what you'll also find in here is a lot about continuous improvement and about change. So the idea here is that we have these 4 pillars that we deliver our workshops on. Each one's half day. So some dates here for your diary. We start them again in September. We have delivered these before. We deliver them a month apart. And the reason for that really is that that's sufficient for you then to take all of the tools and techniques and ideas back into the workplace and really apply them, and then bring your learning back again into the next workshop. Interesting, they are all standalone, so you don't need to attend all of them. You could attend just one individual. But we do find that people really benefit from attending more than one, and most people who come along tend to stay or sign on to the next lot of workshops. So there's just some information here about what people have said about the workshops, but what I want to say is what we're really about is creating a community of amazing and inspiring leaders right across Manchester. And the environment that we create in these workshops, it's highly interactive, highly participative. You'll get to work with other leaders who are probably facing very similar issues to yourselves. And what Paul and I are aiming to do is really inspire you with a whole range of tools, techniques and ideas that you can take back and start using immediately. So that's all I'm going to say for now, and I really hope that we see you in September. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joe. Yes, and me too. I'm looking forward to starting the next phase of the programme and welcoming those who've not attended so far to pop along to what are interactive and interesting sessions for that leadership development programme. But we always start that session, as Joe mentioned, with leading self. And part of that is about looking after our own well-being and the well-being of our employees. So it transcends nicely into our next guest, who will showcase our offering on behalf of the Wellbeing Programme here at GM Business Growth Hub. So welcome on board, Emma Connolly.
Thanks, Paul. Hi, I'm Emma. I'm the Wellbeing Specialist here at the Business Growth Hub. So why focus on wellbeing? We've developed this program because the stats tell us that we need to. So just some stats here. So 35.2 million days, working days were lost due to work-related ill health in 2022/2023. 1 in 5 workers have needed to take time off work due to poor mental health caused by pressure or stress. And over a third of workers don't feel comfortable raising these concerns with their managers and senior leaders. So how do you know if you're thinking that you may need some workplace wellbeing support, or how I could work with your business? These are just some questions to ask yourself. Do you currently have a workplace wellbeing strategy in place? Can your managers identify and address mental health concerns with their teams? Do you as a leader model and promote wellbeing in the workplace? And I guess thinking about those, if you were yes to any of those questions, then that's something I can support you with. In terms of the delivery options for the Wellbeing Programme, I run monthly workshops around leadership wellbeing and implementing a wellbeing strategy. And then I've got some standalone ones coming up, which are one in partnership with GM Moving around physical activity in your working day. And then I'm also partnering up with our fantastic social impact team, talking about the power of giving back for wellbeing. I also do one-to-one support with businesses, such as reviewing strategies or policies, working on wellbeing survey questions and looking at the outputs, and also lots of client research and sharing of resources. So that's how the delivery works for this program. Next slide, please. And just some feedback here, really the same as my colleagues have done, but attendees get a lot out of the workshops. We make sure there's a lot of time for sharing best practice and concerns with other businesses, so that our businesses can kind of learn and network with each other as well. So I really hope I'll see you on some workshops soon. If you could go to the next slide, please, Naomi. So these are just some upcoming workshops, dates for your diary. As I said, the one with GM Moving, the one with Social Impact on the 7th of August, and then my 2 core workshops coming up in August on the 13th and 15th. And the links to register are there for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Emma. That was wonderful. And again, interesting stats showing the need for us to really focus in this area on ourselves and the people within our organisations to help us grow and thrive. But also being a leader in the workplace is sometimes a lonely job, and we sometimes need help and support beyond the boundaries of our organisation with help and advice. And with that in mind, I'm going to welcome our wonderful mentoring programme specialist, Andrea Morales, who's going to talk us through how mentoring can help you and your organisation, again, to achieve your goals. Over to you, Andrea. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. First of all, I would like to introduce ourselves. We are Adele and Andrea, that we're mentor relationship specialists, and we work in this program. Before we start to understand a little bit how the program works, it's really important to know what is the mentoring. So if we go to the next slide, please, we can really see what is the mentoring means. The mentoring is a relationship between 2 people, the mentor and the mentee. And what does the mentor? The mentor is one person that really is guiding and giving you advice in your own business and in your own development, in the professional development. And the mentee is this person that is being guided and that is really being helped to all, and it's giving an impact to them. And how does the process work? If we go to the next slide, thank you. Here we will see the matching process we have. First of all, the applicant is referred to the mentoring team. When it is referred, we really look at the eligibility of this person. It's really important here to mention that you need to have an address for Greatest Manchester. Once we have Whisper, we really invite you to our tool to iMentor, that I will go on the next slide, and then the applicant is on board. One time is on board, Adele and me, as a team, we will send these potential mentor profiles that could really help you with your development. Normally, we will send between 3 and 4 different profiles. And what I mentioned that we send between 3 and 4, because if we are looking into the relationship, it's really important that this match between the mentor and the mentee is worth it. No, you're going to take a profit of it. So we give the possibility to the mentee to really choose which person thinks is going to be the better for them, and at the same time, the same for the mentor. The mentor always have also the same possibility to really understand if he can really help the mentee is going to work with. Also important to mention that if we go to the slide before, please, it's important to mention that this program is during 6 months and during 8 hours. In time of hours, if you and your mentor really want to do more, it's completely fine. But we are doing just 6 months in the sense that if not, it's going to convert into a coaching or a consultancy, and this process is more of advice and guiding. And lastly, in that sense, you are just going to have one mentor for one mentee. There is some exceptions, but normally it's going to be the relationship in that sense. And speaking about the tool I said before, the iMentor tool is a tool that really uses an algorithm to identify the best possible matches. In that sense, it takes all the areas you really want to work with, all the areas how good or not good you are in the different area, and it really make a match. But in that sense, we are always Adele and me, because it's important to have this personal part also into that tool. And some areas that they work with is business development, finance, business planning, sales, leadership, etc. And lastly, you could see some of the testimonials that we have here that you could read afterward about the feedback that they are sharing with us. So if you have any questions, you can write in the chat, or later on we can answer you.
Thank you. That was wonderful, Andrea. And I can speak from experience with the leaders that I work with across Greater Manchester. The feedback we've had regarding the iMentor tool and the quality of the mentors that we provide in that environment have had such a huge impact on the success of the organisations we work with. It's a really great option for people to tap into in support of your business growth. So thank you, everyone, for joining us for the brief showcase today. Please do, if you wish, add any questions into the chat function and I will pick those up. But the next steps are, if you would like to join any or all of the sessions that we have presented today through each of the different People Showcase programs, then click on the links. We will provide you all with the slides from today's session, but if you click or copy and paste those links into your URL and you filter on people, you will find all the programs we've spoken about today easily accessible. You just register your interest, you will be signposted to one of the team members, and we will take that on board and get you onto those services as smoothly as we can. So yes, thank you again for attending. Look forward to seeing you all either on the leadership programs or on my colleagues' programs in the future, and I wish you every success both personally and in your organisational context today and in the future. Thanks again for joining.